Oh, we are live. Here we are, live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We're Progress Realty Partners. This is What Say You. My name's Dan Solanas. It has been since I've been born.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Mine's been Adam Dickert. I thought mine was actually Dan Solanas, but it's not.
I can see I get confused.
Yeah.
I'm still Kim Bruno.
Awesome.
No change
Guys,
there.
we are live, like I said. This is What Say You with Progress Realty Partners. And basically, we get questions every week from investors, different parts of the country, asking us certain situations, advice, anything, tips. And we're going live with those questions, giving our best answers. So I know we got 4 good ones today, if I'm not mistaken, right, Kim? We got 4 questions.
Do.
2 for me, 2 for that guy over there.
Other side.
Guy over there.
Yeah,
That guy. No,
That guy. Everything's
we're backwards for those who don't know.
We're all backwards. It's hard to tell. But anyway, let's get right into it. So, Kim,
Let's do it.
what do we
Let's
got?
do it. Today, we're going to start with Adam today. So
Nice.
Tom H. from Boston is asking, why do people buy properties in LLCs and stuff? Very casual question.
LLCs and stuff.
LLCs and stuff.
Yeah, it's actually a very good question. So a lot of people, I'm assuming he's talking like more commercial properties or investment properties. It's purely for protection, Tom. People do it to insulate themselves from liability. Rental properties, especially, people still do it for their single family homes. But let's say someone goes to sue you, right? You have 4 tenants. Someone goes to sue you as a landlord. They're coming after that entity. Maybe it's Tom H. from Boston LLC. You own that one property in it. They can only come after what that entity owns. They can only come after that one property. They can't come after your car, your personal residence, your stocks, your personal bank account. It's purely to insulate yourself from protection. There's also other benefits. Some more sophisticated guys use it to write pass-throughs on taxes, and there's other benefits if you kind of set up more of as a company, but purely for protection. You want them to come after, if shit hits the fan, that one property, that one entity, and nothing else.
Yeah, and even like to kind of build off your point too, from like a consumer standpoint, someone visits your property, they slip, they fall, they break an ankle, they claim they popped a tire, something stupid.
We've had a couple of those.
I was just going to say, sounds familiar.
You don't want to be paying medical bills for a guy who broke his leg at the property next door and just happened to drag himself over to yours.
Damn right.
So yeah, protect yourself.
Good point.
LLC.
All right, Dan, you ready for yours?
Yes, sir.
All right. Moisha from New York wrote, I lost out on 3 deals to buyers with similar offers. What can I do to stand out next time?
So lost out on 3 deals, Moisha. Sorry to hear that, but keep putting in offers. There's other deals out there. Yeah, listen, to stand out, I mean, there's a couple things you can do to show that you're a serious buyer, right? And I'll just give you the example of what we do. So we put an offer on a property. A lot of times what we're doing is, 1, including a buyer profile, right? What's some background on us? What kind of experience do we have owning and operating real estate, owning and operating this type of real estate? Another could be proof of funds. You put an offer in, the other guys put offers in. Brokers, right? You deal with a lot of guys who are a little bit more of smoke and mirrors than the real deal. So including a proof of funds with your offer is another way to show that you're a serious, ready and able buyer and can put yourself in a good position. And just in generally too, like just show that you understand the deal, right? I mean, that's one of the things I know when Adam and I were at Marcus and Millichap, and I know a lot of brokers do today, they want to make sure you really have a full handle on the deal that you're offering on. If there is CapEx involved, if there is certain intricacies to the deal that you should know as a buyer or should know just from having experience being an operator, asking the right questions, showing a true understanding for the deal is crucial. So those are just a couple things. Buyer profile, have a good write-up on yourself, show proof of funds if you have it, and just show that you truly understand the deal. But ultimately, too, don't forget it comes down to relationships, right? I mean, I don't know these other deals you missed out on, but depending on how good of a relationship you have with the broker, you could be losing out to other guys who've transacted with that broker in the past. So work on building those broker relationships, work on that story behind why you're a good buyer, and maybe show proof of funds. I think if you do those 3 things, you'll put yourself in a good position next time around for sure.
Yeah, and all those things all comes down to surety of close, right? Everyone could say they want the best terms, best hard money deposit. It's all a load of crap. But it comes down to who's actually going to close on the property. So anything you can do to prove that you're there, you have the money, you're a legitimate buyer, it's going to help you.
Yeah, great point. What's next, Kimberly?
All right. Question 3. This one's for Adam.
Nice.
Jerry with an I. Just remember that. With an I. From Delaware. I'm just getting into real estate investments, and I've been told that the best way to start out is by flipping homes and rental properties. Is this true?
All right, Jerry with an I. I'll say it could be. It could be because it depends on a couple things, right? Time and money. Is this going to be inexperience? Make that 3 things. Is this going to be your full-time job? I've personally never flipped a house. It's extremely time intensive. Lots of, running over there, checking on this, checking on the vendors, making sure where'd Dan just go?
I'm here.
We lost Dan.
It's extremely time intensive and requires a lot of attention. So if you have the time, excuse me, the time to be consistently going back and forth on the phone with vendors, checking every little rehab or flipping point, it could be, but it also goes hand in hand with, do you have the money for it? Do you have the pockets for it? Do you have the money to do it full time? Because it kind of is a full-time job. I've never really met too many people that flip 5 or 6 houses a year on the side and have no other supplemental income. So money comes into play, kind of goes hand in hand with time, but also the experience, which gets tied into both of them. If you've never done this before, it's probably going to cost you a hell of a lot more than you realize up front. And all that does is lower your returns, lowers your back end, and lowers how much upside you have. So is it a good place to start? It could be. People seem to make some money doing it, but I don't think it's the best place to start. I mean, if you really want to get into real estate, I mean, groups like ours or even something like a REIT or something like that gives you a little bit of taste of real estate without being hands-on. But flipping houses is very, very time and money intense, whatever the correct verb for that is.
Yeah, and just to build off what you're saying, Adam, like it just, like what kind of responsibilities do you want? Do you want it to be something that you're actively involved in? A lot of guys flip houses and that's their job. If you're working at it full time, it's not really so much something you can look at as an investment anymore. It's your job. So, how involved, how much time do you want to spend on it? Or are you just looking for the benefits of investing in real estate?
Right.
So yeah, like you said, you could invest passively as a limited partner in other people's deals, or, you can start in the route flipping houses. But, for all the things you mentioned, Adam, it's time intensive and you need the experience. So it just depends on the situation. That's what I would say.
All right.
What we got?
Yeah, Kim.
We got our 4th and final already.
Yo,
This goes by so quick.
Plant behind you, by the way. That thing is like green.
I keep doing the wrong side. Yeah.
You're watering that thing good. All right, sorry.
All right. That's okay. Eric from Maryland has our last question here. For Dan, there's a building near my house I want to buy that I'm very familiar with. I think it's a good deal if I can extend some leases, but the seller said I'm not allowed to speak with the tenants about it while I'm under contract. Should I be concerned?
All right, so local deal, you're familiar with the property, but the seller won't let you talk to the tenants about renewing leases while you're under contract. Concerned, it depends. I don't know if concerned is the best question, but definitely ask, or the best way to put it, but definitely ask questions. I mean, if you know the property, then you should probably have a good handle on how active these tenant businesses are, right? And I'm assuming you're talking retail, so I'll answer this in a retail perspective. But how busy are the tenants during the day, during the night? How long have these tenants been at the property? What kind of condition is the property in? I would ask, you can ask questions that kind of give you a general idea of what the tenant's plans are, right? How much money have they invested into their own spaces? How long have they been at the property? You know, how important is this location, or how dependent is their business on this location? Do they have other locations? Do they live locally to this property? You know, how old are the main business owners or the main people running the operation behind the business? So all these little things can give you some insight as to whether or not, you know, you can get a good idea if they're going to stay long term. And ultimately, if that all kind of checks, you know, the boxes, if they live locally, if this is, you know, their main business, if they're not so much at the point where they're nearing retirement, if they put a decent amount of investment dollars into the space, all these little things show signs of commitment to the property. So as long as those check out and you're getting good answers on that front, I wouldn't be so concerned about renewing their leases while being under contract. But, you know, if you start hearing, that, you know, the owner is older, or, you know, you go hang out the property during the day for a couple hours, stake the property out. Adam,
Stake out, favorite time.
Just hung out at a property for, you know, 2, sometimes even 3 hours, you know, during the big parts of the day.
6, 7, kicking my legs. But you see all the types of people coming in and out of the property. You see how active it is. It's worth it.
Exactly. You can see which tenants are driving the most business, you know. So if you live locally, if you have the time to do it, you know, really get a great feel for the property. But ask those other questions, because those can give you great insight, even if you can't speak to them while you're under contract, as to what their plans might be long term.
But, Mr. Daniel, I think you missed a big question. Blatantly ask the seller why. Why can't I discuss a lease negotiation or whatever under, you know, due diligence? They might have a very good reason. They just might not want the tenant to get spooked. Just, you know, ask why.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, it's like whenever, just be inquisitive, right? In general, just ask questions. Pretend like you're a 12-year-old who's never, you know, been involved in real, and just ask questions. Kids ask questions all the time. They could be dumb, but you could get the right answers. You could get answers that help you either decide it's a good deal or a bad deal. So the more questions you ask, you know, the better information you'll get, the better position you'll be to make a good decision. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. You know what else?
It.
That's it on this. That was what say you. That was 4 questions. I had 2. Adam, you had 2. Loved your answers. And I just want to remind everybody, for those who are interested in commercial real estate, and I'm going to get a little closer to the camera.
Oh boy, here he goes.
There we go. If you have any interest in investing in commercial real estate that gives you direct ownership, dependable cash flow, but you get to remain 100% passive, check out our website, Progress Realty Partners, PRP.us, or follow us here on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you're watching right now.
All of it.
And reach out to us, because we're doing some great things over here. But guys, that was What Say You, Progress Realty Partners. My name is still Dan Solanas.
I'm Adam Dickert.
Kim Bruno.
We will catch you guys live next week when we got a couple of more questions and a couple of more answers. Until then, enjoy your week.
Adios.
Bye.